So, I know for the last several videos I've talked about Windows, and I figured I'd shift gears and talk about Google. In particular, their new Google Nexus 7 tablet. This is actually a very attractive little tablet. Now, if you take a look at the default home screen here, for those of you who cannot see, it's basically a bunch of magazine covers on the front, or ads. I don't know about you guys, but those are going to be the first to go if I ever decide on this tablet. Now, I said I was excited about the Microsoft Surface, for those of you who've been following my videos, but I can't remember whether or not I said for sure whether or not I was going to get one. And right now it's up in the air because there are way too many unknown factors, most notably the price and availability. So if I do go with the Nexus 7, I'd probably get rid of all of these ads. And also another thing that's weighing my decision is the fact that overall I've been using Google services for the past 5 years. I have been using Chrome, which I really like. I don't use it on a regular basis, but overall I do like Chrome for its speed and just its overall, just the performance. It's a really nice browser. I use Gmail.
It's 3 o'clock.
I use Gmail both for personal and academic emails. My university is going to Gmail pretty much 100%. Obviously, I use YouTube, or you wouldn't be watching this, and that is owned by Google. The only service that I have yet to try from them, or services, excuse me, are Google Drive, which essentially helps to replace Google Plus, or Google Plus, I'm sorry, Google Docs. Google Drive replaces Google Docs, and also Google Plus. Now, I know that there are a lot of you out there that are privacy advocates that are going to be screaming, Google collects your data. Well, if you think about it, nowadays who doesn't? Assuming that you store anything on a remote server, your emails, for instance, from Microsoft, there is no telling whether or not they go ahead and take a look at that. Generally speaking, Facebook, Apple even, with their iCloud services. Now, yes, they do have privacy policies, but even if the companies themselves uphold the policies, there is no telling when an attack may occur on the remote server, and you, because you don't have access to said server, are helpless to stop it, aside from changing your password or doing routine stuff like that. Now, certainly you can lock stuff down as much as you can, but the point is, whenever you store anything on a remote system that you have no control of, there's always a possibility of something happening. And certainly some of you are going to say, well, avoid using those services. Let's take a look at what the world has become with Facebook, YouTube, other services like that. Even when it comes not just to personal, but even to employment, there are several corporations, small businesses that have a Facebook page, and it makes you wonder whether or not this is even possible to have, to have this level of privacy any longer. Just the way the world works nowadays. We've become so technologically driven and are storing stuff on remote servers. Maybe not everything, but certainly, your Google search stuff. I've gone in and disabled my Google web history before their privacy policy had changed, but that's because I tend to keep up on a lot of that stuff. But for those people who don't and may not realize that Google and Facebook and all of them are storing this stuff, yes, it's scary, but I'm wondering whether or not it's avoidable. And I'm beginning to wonder, I'm sorry, I was about to repeat myself, but simply put, I'm not sure if it is, because of the way things are going anymore with this technologically driven society we live in. I don't know. In terms of a tablet, I may decide on the Nexus 7 simply because I've got more experience with Google services than I do with Microsoft's. I love Windows 8, but at the same time, if I have to start a whole new branch of services just to use it, I'm not so sure that I would want to. Now keep in mind, I've only had Windows 8 for a week and I still have testing to do personally speaking, but overall, I may end up going with an Android-based device. I don't know. But I'm basing that on the fact that I do tend to use Google services a lot more. But again, you have to ask yourself, a lot of people are going to say, well, Facebook collects my data, Google collects my data. The way I look at it is that if you store anything on a remote server, you always have to have that possibility in mind. And given the way the world seems to be shifting towards this remote computation model, maybe not for everything, keep in mind, but certainly for a lot of it, I don't know if that's avoidable. You know, all I can say is be careful. But what do you guys think, both about the tablet and what I've said regarding the whole online storage thing? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome.